Alright lads, let's talk about the new Spirits Are Forever With You Round 1 banner. Is it worth spending your precious orbs on a banner like this? Now right off the start, I would probably say it's a skip. The reason why I say it's a skip is because of the characters itself. They aren't necessarily too exciting, and I think there's like a few reasons why you would pull on this banner. One, it's because you want Uryu as a Linkshot character, or two, you just want the character themselves. None of them are necessarily needed to a certain extent, but it really depends on the type of new player you are, and I would definitely say that with all the banners that we're going to be getting in the future, the exciting ones like the 6th anniversary, potentially round 2 of Spirits Are Forever With You, and the future Spirits Are Forever With You banners with the Beyond Bankai characters and the, the more exciting novel characters like Toshiro and stuff like that. This would probably be a banner that you might not want to spend your orbs on, just to have as much orbs as possible for those more exciting banners. So right at the start, I will say, you should probably skip this banner. It is worth summoning on, but you should probably skip it because of how close the anniversary is and because the characters themselves aren't necessarily anything too amazing. But that being said, I still want to talk about these characters because one of the things that people are looking at when it comes to these new characters is the strong attacks they have. And they aren't realizing, like, to a certain extent of how good these characters can be, even with the attacks they do have. Like, the attacks they do have is not the end-all be-all for some of these characters, especially in Don Kenoji's case. He's a bit of a weird character, and let me explain about it, right? So, Don Kenoji, what is appealing about this character? Well, unfortunately, he isn't a double-team character. He doesn't have the double-team switch mechanic, so you can't actually play as the Picaro, even though the name is Don Kenoji and Picaro. So, that's very disappointing, but everything else about him, he is treated as a double-team character, or a tag team character to say the least, right? He does have 2 killers, which is Hollow and Aranka, and as a mind character, that's somewhat interesting. He's a 12% reach, charge 20% berserker, 20% bruiser, 2-second debilitator, would have been nice if it was 5 seconds, devastation, frenzy, guard break, which is pretty nice to have, havoc plus 20% because he is a end of month character, and then he has the increased status ailment chance against heart attribute hollows and Aranka. So it's the first character in the game to have 2 killers that has the increased chance to inflict those status ailments. So that on a better character is going to be absolutely huge. But this does mean that if you do want to use them in inheritance trials, you can do that. And for the most part, he will be inflicting the status ailments against most of the enemies he does hit. Unfortunately, the bad thing about his character is the strong attacks that he does have. If you look at his similarities, his SA1 is the shave type SA similar to these 5 characters right here. It's not the worst strong attack one. It's not the best. It's an okay one. Like, you definitely want a better SA, but it doesn't really ruin the character. His second strong attack is the, let me quickly go to here, it is the 160% magnification strong attack 2. So this can hit very hard, especially because it is a range collision one. Essentially what it does do is it's a shockwave attack. It pushes everything away from him in a certain radius, right? So if they are close up, or if they're an enemy in co-op, let's say epic raids or a boss in co-op, where they can't get pushed back, it means those 48 hits that you're doing is going to hit that enemy very quickly, and it can be an absolute nuke of a strong attack too. The only problem with this strong attack too is going against enemies that do get pushed back, or just normal PvE content, like normal enemies in co-op, normal enemies in PvE. It's not really the best strong attack 2. It does require a certain amount of setup to be able to do as much damage as possible, and that personally ruined the character for me. Does it ruin the character in general? No, because again, with what he wants to do with that SA2, you can do a lot of damage with it, especially if you do set it up right. And then his third strong attack is a full screen attack. Now, alongside that, his Soul Bomb is a debuff skill, so it's going to lower their defense by, I believe, 80%. Let me just quickly double check. Yeah, you can see it. It lowers their attack and focus by 33%. Nothing too important, but it does lower their defense by minus 80%. And if you sing Shuhei's nuke, he can do something similar to that. It's not to the same extent because he doesn't affect weakening, but he's still going to be able to do a lot of nasty damage with that Soul Bomb, and then you can give him weakened defense if you get him to 15, 15, 15, and that means now you're doing a lot of damage on the Soul Bomb, plus in addition to that, with that SA2, you can now potentially hit so hard. So that's what this kind of character is. Like, he's a very weird one. He isn't, traditionally a good character. He is someone that many people saw at first glance a trash character, but he's not as bad as people are making him out to be. He's not the best character out there, but I'm just trying to point out some of the uses he's going to have. For example, in the next month or so, where he is a bonus character in AER, he's going to do a lot of damage. And even outside of that, when he isn't a bonus character in AER, you can still use him just for that Soul Bomb alone. So he definitely has his use. As a main character, if I'm going in an epic raid or something like that and I want to clear as fast as possible, I'm going to want someone to have Don Kenoji in my team just so we can do as much damage as possible on that soul bomb. And then it allows all our teammates to do a lot of damage too. And then he also has the extra skills too, where he does actually heal the team, and you can farm Hogikus now. So he isn't a bad character. Like, you know, strong attack wise, it does ruin the character. If he had better strong attacks, he literally would have been the best character in the game. Like, that's how good he could have been. But unfortunately, with the kit that he does have, it does ruin the excitement for a lot of people when it comes to this character. Also, he's not a double team character. That also does ruin the excitement just a tad bit. So he could have been a lot better. He could have been very, very good. Unfortunately, it just isn't like that. But he's still not a bad character. I would still definitely say he's top 10 mine because of what he can do. He can be a massive nuke. He can do a lot of damage on that SA2 in combination with his soul bomb. He has the increased chance to affect the status elements, and then also you can farm Hogikus. So, you know, he's not a bad character to have. Like, if you get him, I would definitely use him. So, I'm just trying to see, like, the good things about his character instead of just necessarily trashing him just because he has bad strong attacks. There's more to characters like this than just strong attacks. Strong attacks do play a big part, and it can ruin a character depending on the type of player you are. But to say he's a trash character, it just isn't really true. And he also does have very fun visuals on the strong attacks and stuff like that. So, yeah, he's an alright character. He's an alright character. Then we have Uryu. Now, this character is, again, another decent character. Strong attack-wise, he doesn't have the best strong attacks. So, again, if you're someone that only cares about strong attacks, then this character isn't really for you. But regardless of how good or bad he actually is, he's a Linkshot character. Bringing this character into your IZ room is going to give you 5 additional speed pots. And that's very good because, as we all know, Kenpachi, the Canfield one, is trash to use in Carb. We don't like using him. The only time he's good is just to get carried. So now you don't have to use Kenpachi. Instead, you can use Uryu. And that might be one of the main reasons why you are summoning on this. And if anything, I might actually recommend summoning on the individual banner, because if you don't have a Linkshot character for the technique attribute, so for example him or the Canfield Kenpachi, this might be a must summon just to get this character alone, just to make your life easier when it comes to farming Linkshot potions. At the same time, they aren't 100% necessary because you can just carry them. That's what I've been doing for the most part, and I've been perfectly fine Linkshotting all my speed characters. So I'm not going to say he's 100% a must summon, but if you want to make your life easier to farm IZ potions, you might want to get him just for that alone. And even outside of that, because he isn't necessarily going to be only used in Inheritance Zone, because you can use him in Inheritance Trials, thanks to the fact that he does have the increased chance to inflict the status elements against speed attribute hollows. And he does have an SA2 that does help him with that because it is a Vortex move, again, hitting a lot of times. If you hit someone with that Vortex Inheritance Trials, you're almost likely, almost guaranteed to inflict that status element. So, I really do like these two characters. They're nothing amazing. They're not the best characters in the game. They're not trash like people are making them out to be. They're useful and they're not bad. That's what I'm just trying to say, right? So that's basically the main thing to say from these two characters. But because of that, because they're nothing groundbreakingly OP and this close to the anniversary, that might be one of the main reasons why you might be skipping the banner. Another thing talking about the banner, because it's a 2-character banner, because Don Kenoji unfortunately is being classed as a double team character when he isn't. It means we have the 3% chance to get a featured character here, so these 6 characters right here, and a 3% chance to get the other characters that you probably don't want to pull, especially if you are a veteran player. If you're new, this extra 3% pull rate might not be what you're wanting, but it is going to give you 200 orbs every time you get a character if they are resurrectable, and they might be very good links. So it's a bit unfortunate the way they treated the banner, and that's the only problem I have with this entire banner. I don't see it a big deal. I don't see that it's a big deal that we didn't get a Beyond Bankai character, or that it's Don Kenoji and Uryu. I don't really care that they got shafted strong attacks. What I do care about is the fact that Don Kenoji and Picaro are being treated as a double team character when they're not. And in doing so, that is lowering the rates for this banner, because now you have to deal with the extra 3% pull rate of, you know, of non-featured characters, and there should have been a third character, so the chance of getting a banner character in this actual banner is only 1% instead of 1.5%, because individual rate wise it's 0.5%. So do keep that in mind. The banner is just a normal banner, you know, 150 odds for the first multi, 6% rate, 250, 200 for the second multi, and then 250 onwards. The guaranteed multis, so step 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, is actually pretty good because there are only 6 characters. The chance of getting a banner character here is 1 in 3. You have like a 33% chance of getting a banner character when you go to the guaranteed step. So if you want both of these characters, it's worth summoning on. But I will say it is a somewhat easy skip depending on the type of player you are. I really want Don Kenoji. I don't have a Linkshot character, so I'm pulling on the main banner. But if you are someone that only wants one of the characters, let's say you don't care about Don Kenoji, you only want the Link's character because you know you're going to need it, then it's best to save for the individual banners. As you can see here, Uryu does drop on June 11th. It's a 1% chance to get him, so if you do end up doing 10 steps, you're very likely to get the character that you want. Unfortunately, we only got one here, so it's still RNG at the end of the day. You're not guaranteed anything. But if you only ever want one of them, your best chance to get them is on the individual banner, and that does allow you to save some mobs. It does allow you to make a decision on what you want to pull for, because this banner will be out on the 11th, it will be here till the 17th, so you will know what mid-month is. I don't think mid-month is going to be better than these characters, because it's a mid-month banner, they ain't going to get Havoc, but just do keep that in mind. Same goes for Don Kenoji, he will be here on the 17th, so you'll know what the mid-month banner is, and you can make a decision on what you want to pull for. And that's really about it when it comes to this. Again, if you do all 10 steps, you should walk away. We got 3 Don Kenojis there. That's actually pretty good. But when it comes to the actual main banner, the other fillers, the Orihime, she is a NAD character without guard break. She boosts. She's actually a very good character for the Sorry week of GQ, the hard one, the ranged week. That's the only time I ever really use her. She's quite a fun character. She's alright. If you want to use her, then go ahead. Same goes for this Yoruichi. The only time you're realistically going to use her is in the hard difficulty of GQ for the Espada week of GQ. Then you have the Toshiro. He's an okay character, nothing too special. If you're a Toshiro fan, maybe you might want to summon for him. The use he does have, though, is Chronicle Quest, so even getting this character once is never going to be a bad thing. Even if you don't even want the character, getting him is always going to be useful for farming Chronicle Quest drops. And then you have the Harley Bell, who is just a bit meh. She's nothing too special. You're probably not going to use her. But that being said, lads, that was the video breaking down this banner. Is it worth summoning on? I already mentioned at the start of the video. It is, but it comes down to what you want. This is definitely, I would say, one of the easier skips that we have had. It's not a must summon, and now it might be a good time to start saving for the anniversary. And because again, it's 2 months away, lads. 2 months time, we'll probably have the round 2 of Spirits Life with you, or a manga banner. So just probably best to save your orbs. In addition to that, in less than 22 days, we will be getting the trailer, the teaser trailer for the 6th anniversary. So now is a good time to start saving orbs, and this might not be a banner you want to pull on. If that's fine, if you want to skip it, good for you, you can save your orbs. But to just necessarily trash the banner or trash the characters because you don't like Don Kenoji or Uryu is a bit ridiculous. Trashing them because they have bad strong attacks, okay, it comes down to what your playstyle is, but to say they're just trash characters is just not true. They're alright characters, they're nothing amazing, nothing trash, and the only problem that I have with the banner is the fact that there are only 2 banner characters when there realistically should be 3, or if anything, Don Kenoji should have been an actual double team character. That being said though, lads, if you are pulling on this banner in less than 2 days time, I wish you luck. Hopefully you do get what you want, and if you are pulling, let me know in the comments below. What do you actually think about these characters after watching this video? Are you still disappointed in them? Do you still not care about them? Let me know, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.